Good day, collectors. This is Scaling Drive back after some time with another review. And yes, today we'll be reviewing the Toyota Land Cruiser 80 by Hot Wheels from the Then and Now series. I have to say, I love this casting. This chunky little casting by Mattel looks great, has all the right tempos at the right places, none at the rear, but that'll do. I like the livery, I like the color. Perhaps this is the best release so far. This is the fourth release. First one was in a dark gray, which also I liked. The next two were nice colors, but they had those muddy tires, so not the best combination for me. But yeah, still for an off-roader, it looks good. But this particular version I find is the best till now. So let's start with the card art. Okay, I'm bending it a little bit so that it comes in frame. Yeah, card art is nice. The color is represented similarly. It's an ivory color. Yeah, it looks like the color of the it 80s, I believe. No, this is I think 80 J80 series, and this was introduced in 1990 as per my notes. Okay, so decent card art with the front brush card, and you can see the extra pair of fog lights and all. So let's see how it's represented in the real car. It's nicely done. So I like the card art, but let's start the review by uncarding it. Okay, here's the rip. Anyone wants to see the car art once more with the car? Nice. Okay, so that's my first look at the Butch SUV from Toyota. There's some paint blemish, overspray, I believe. So, okay, just to give you a brief history of the Land Cruiser nameplate. This is Toyota's first four-wheel drive vehicle, which was first like conceptualized around early 1950s. It came first in 1951 as the BJ series, and later as the J series, J20, 40, and so on. This particular version is the J80 series. As you could see, 80 says on the card art, J80 series, which replaced, and this was introduced in the 1990s, and it replaced the previous series, which was J60 series. And just to give you a brief before we start the review, I have this one at Land Cruiser from the 70s from Tomica. Yeah, Land Cruiser 70. This was released around 1986. Yeah, and this is a 1 is to 71 scale, so way smaller scale than 1 is to 64 from Tomica. And just to give you an idea of the look of the vehicle, this one has transparent lens headlights as well. Very beautiful little model from Tomica, and how the grills compared to this modern vehicle. This is a twin cab pickup. So just to give you an idea of the lineage, this is the only only other Land Cruiser I have other than the Siku version. This is a mid 2000 version, I believe, and Sikus are larger scale. This is 1 is to 55 scale, so it like towers over this one. And this is a modern vehicle, modern model year vehicle. So anyways, post 2000 vehicles have really grown in size. I believe representation by Hot Wheels is pretty good. Might be a bit smaller. They usually tend to jack up their SUVs to make them look butch. but I like the size. It looks chunky. This is the chunkiest, I think, small scale model car in my collection. This is huge for a small scale, although 1 is to 55 is amongst the largest in small scales, if you get the drift of what I am trying to say. So just to give you a perspective of how Toyota Land Cruiser evolved over the model years. So let's get back to the review now. So as I said, this particular color variation is the fourth release. Hot Wheels came out with this casting in 2021, and the designer is Dmitry Shakamatov. He has been recently coming out with some really nice models, I must say. So he might become a popular Hot Wheels car designer in the future. He might already be popular for all I know. So yes, so 2021 was a glossy dark gray version, which I like. And after that, there are two other color variations. One was a vanilla color, so it was a slightly darker shade than this ivory color, and it had muddy tires. And the third version was in what they call metallic red, again with muddy tires. And this one somehow I like the best, with the ivory color and that very 80s livery. So starting the review from the sides, so it has that sided look of the SUV, and what really lifts the casting is this livery with these stripes, which is a combination of orange, yellow, like papaya yellow, and black, and I think there's a brown stripe at the bottom as well, and here as well. So nice artwork on the sides. It has got marking for the door handles, very clearly marked door handles in black. Generally it's not done, so that's a nice touch. And marking for the side indicator lamp as well. There's a Hot Wheels flame logo on the rear fender, and you can see they have cast in this also detail also, like in the real vehicle. And rear windows are closed, front are open. The windows also have a nice effect to give details like of the B and C pillars, although they are all transparent plastic, but they look fairly realistic. It has metal side view mirrors on both sides, another nice detail, I must say. And I like these tires. These are called off-road OR6SP, off-road 6-spoke tires. They look big, butch, chunky. They stick out of the car, of the SUV. So this is meant, I think this is a jacked up version of a normal variation, and it has got a dark gray outer lip, which also looks nice. Very nice combination, I must say. The choice of wheels, color, and the livery, very nicely done. Moving on to the front, the best part, I would say, with all the headlight details, the grille details tampered in. Although I don't think it's textured that much, but it's all right because it's behind a front brush guard, doesn't matter. And there are markings for the side indicators on the front, and as well as on the front side fenders as well. Okay, that's a nice detail. You can see the twin headlamps on each side, and you can see the brush guard with fog lamps molded in, and a winch also molded in. Very nice detail for a mainline casting. That's super, I would say. And you can see the front brush plate as well, which is cast in the base. Let's have a look at the base. It's fairly plain, but that's fine. There's a marking for the exhaust pipe, and it says Toyota Land Cruiser 80 2020 is the copyright date, although the first release was in 2021. Okay, this is, I think, part of the side step. Okay, Okay, so yes, bonnet is plain, but molding is nice with details for the, I think, windshield washers, and there's the front cowl. Nicely done front end, I would say. And moving on to the other side, it's the same as the other side. Just have a look at the inside. I don't know if you can have a look at the driver's side window. No. Okay, I zoomed in too much, zoomed out too much. Okay, so the extra detail here is the gas cap marking, which is again a nice detail. And it has got a sunroof. Okay, it's not just a plain plastic, they give some more detail for the wind deflector as well, which is again very nice for a mainline casting, I must say. And the ribbed roof with the 4 ribs like in the rear vehicle, real SUV. And let's move on to the rear, or before that I should give you some more information. Okay, I have to mention this, that this is one of the longest running nameplates, the Land Cruiser nameplate. So this has been in production since 1951, and this is, I think, the 5th longest running nameplate after the Chevrolet Suburban. I was surprised to learn that. I always thought it would be something like a Volkswagen Beetle, which is at number 2. And I think at number 3 there's Jeep, and then there's the F series pickup from Ford, and then you have Toyota's Land Cruiser nameplate. So just to give you a perspective, the longest running nameplate, the Chevrolet Suburban SUV, first came out in 1933. This came in 1951, and the Jeep and Beetle came in between these 2 years. So the Land Cruiser is indeed amongst the legends. You can see has a jacked up suspension, which is like an off modification for serious off-roading, including the front brush guard, which helps like when doing dune patching to span some crevasse as well, I believe. Or yeah. And let's move on to the rear is a bit plain, but the rest of the vehicle is so nicely done that I can give this casting good points even without the rear tampos, I would say. I would give this, in fact, I would give this casting 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10. That's such a solid casting, especially in this color combination and livery. I really love it. And before I come to the rear spare wheel, there's a story behind it. I'll try to find some details. This is the exhaust pipe on the right side, and there is this area for the number plate, and I think this part is to open the door where the handle is. You can see the post from here, which is used to rivet to the base, which is fine. Some castings have the post, some castings clip in at the rear. That is all right, it doesn't really matter, it's inside. And no taillight details, but as I said, that's fine. They have already given so many details in a mainline casting. There's some molding in the bumper, and you can see there is some ribbed feature for this rear step as well. And did I miss the side step? Yeah, that's molded in part of the base. When we check the base, I told you about that. Okay, so this particular spare wheel is not this, as you can see. This is a separate piece. Usually it's molded in and it looks quite crude. This looks like a solid wheel. There's a reason behind it. I didn't know. I read about it and find out This is a Turbo Max spare tire by 1552. 1552 is a company that makes performance wheel rims and off-road rims. So this is by them. You would have seen 1552. 15 is written in words and 52 in numbers in other casting by Hot Wheels as well. So like other many other brand logos they use, they license in use. So this is a 1552 Turbo Mac tire, and this particular tire will be used in all these Land Cruiser casting irrespective of the wheel type. The spare wheel will be this only. So maybe this was something related to promoting 1552 or maybe honoring them for making such nice performance wheels, although it's not written 1552. I found this information from Hot Wheels wiki only. So yeah, that looks like a chunky spare tire. I like it. So overall, nice casting by Hot Wheels. Let's have a look at its rival as well, the Jeep Rubicon. This is from by Matchbox. Yeah, 2018 Jeep. This is actually the just the Jeep Wrangler, not the Rubicon hardcore off-road variant. But these two legendary brand names have been there since quite long and still enchanting off-roaders and even daily commuters alike. Mostly you see these in Middle East countries. It's quite popular over there and in the US as well, I believe. But these large vehicles with big V8 petrol engines in the US, I'll show you here. Yeah, V8 Land Cruiser V8, 286 PS, and you can see 4.5 liter engine, 210 kilometer per hour top speed. Big fuel guzzlers. That's the reason why they are there in Middle East, where petrol is slightly cheaper. It comes in diesel versions as well, which is slightly more fuel efficient, but still doesn't do too much for the environment. And I believe these SUVs will start to get lighter in the future, maybe get more hybrid powertrains, and maybe even EV versions only, because ultimately fuel emission norms and fuel economy norms will get stricter only. So days for bigger butcher SUVs are, I won't say numbered, but the technology will evolve for these bigger vehicles eventually. So anyways, enough of my ranting. Let me know how you like my review of Hot Wheels Toyota Land Cruiser 80 2023 release in ivory color. Yeah, please share your feedback on how I can make my reviews more interesting. Please like, share, and subscribe. Till then, cheers from Scaling Drive Diecast.